There have been numerous protests and months of campaigning and consultation. But this afternoon, NHS managers in Dorset announced big changes to the way hospitals and community services will be run. There are winners and losers. Bournemouth will be the major accident and emergency hub for the whole county. Poole Hospital will be a centre for non-emergency operations. Maternity services at the Dorset County Hospital in Dorchester will be shared with Yeovil. And community beds at Shaftesbury and Weymouth, which were threatened, would now stay open. But others will go, including those in Wareham. Steve Humphrey has been speaking to some people who'll be affected.
After months of often vigorous campaigning, people across Dorset now have a much clearer idea of how health services will be delivered in the future. In Shaftesbury, they won their battle to keep beds at the local cottage hospital. But in Wareham, they lost out. Their hospital will become a community hub offering a range of medical services. But the 16 beds in the hospital here will go.
I think it's going to be traumatic. I mean, I can't really think what it will be like.
Janet, a retired teacher, cares about the shake-up of services because she spent a month at Wareham Hospital recuperating after breaking her hip.
I don't know what I would have done without it, because all my friends, most of them live in Wareham.
Across Dorset, there have been concerns that the proposed changes will lead to longer travelling times to hospitals and clinics. Here in the Purbecks, there are particular worries about centralising acute accident and emergency provision in Bournemouth.
Transport's not good. The time it takes to get through Bournemouth or Poole and Bournemouth is difficult, and people in Purbeck and I know in Poole were really anxious about the possibility of losing a Poole-based emergency service.
Is it tug of war? Is it tug of war?
In Dorchester, 10-year-old George and his mum Naomi have been campaigning to retain the Kingfisher Children's Ward at the Dorset County Hospital near their home. George, who suffered brain damage because of meningitis, often needs medical intervention.
Dorset County Hospital, they have an open access in children like George. It means they don't have to go to the GP surgeries, they don't have to go to A&E, they can go straight to the ward.
Today, health chiefs revealed they'd like to combine children's services in the western side of Dorset with some across the border in Somerset. There's the prospect of more consultation on how that'll affect Dorchester's Kingfisher ward.
I felt happy in the sense that the CCG had listened to us and they took away from the consultation that a lot of people's preferred option was option A, which was to keep the Kingfisher and maternity as it was.
The big question many people here in Dorset are now asking is, will all the changes deliver a better health service? Steve Humphrey, BBC South Today, Dorset.
Now, one of the most controversial proposals is to close the accident and emergency department at Poole Hospital. Less severe injuries will still be treated at an urgent care centre there, but patients with life-threatening conditions will have to travel to Bournemouth instead. Laura Trant has been gauging reaction.
The idea triggered protests and 40,000 people signed a petition against it. But the CCG is pressing ahead with plans for Bournemouth to be the central A&E hub for East Dorset. We asked people in Westbourne, located between the two towns, what they think of it.
Having experience of being at Bournemouth A&E and how busy and overworked they are, the idea of that then being double the traffic, I don't think it's good at all. I'd be worried about response times and people's health.
People that live out in the sticks, if they've got to go to Bournemouth, it's a trek.
Yeah. That's terrible news. It's just extra time, isn't it? We already talk about how long it takes for cars to get across Bournemouth and Poole and the traffic. It just put more lives at risk.
The CCG says people from across the county will be able to reach their nearest critical care unit in an ambulance within an hour. Laura Trant, BBC South Today.
One of the main aims of the reorganisation of services is to reduce the number of admissions to accident and emergency. The Clinical Commissioning Group says it wants more people to be treated at home or in the community.
It will grind a hospital to a halt if effectively the flow through the hospital stops, because more and more people are just coming in through those A&E front doors. If we can alleviate that, the whole hospitals will run better, and that'll be a better outcome and a better patient experience.
Well, our health correspondent David Fenton spent the day at the Dorset County Hospital in Dorchester. I asked him for his take on the plans.
Well, Tom, these changes are going to affect pretty much anyone who needs healthcare in Dorset, and let me just give you some figures on that. 100,000 people are going to be taken out of appointments at hospitals like this one and instead treated in the community or in their homes. There are going to be 100 fewer beds available, and maybe 50,000 people a year kept out of A&E departments, and that of course is where the bottleneck is that are causing hospitals so many problems. There is a financial element to this, there always is. If they don't do anything now, they're going to be about £150 million in debt in 4 years' time.
Well, David, you say in debt, but isn't that just another way of saying that the NHS is underfunded?
Well, yes, that may depend on your point of view on these things, but clearly money is a big factor. We've talked about the debt. Actually, the healthcare system here is going to be getting something like £150 million investment pretty soon from the NHS to put in new operating theatres in Poole and a new maternity service centre at the Royal Bournemouth Hospital.
How much do these changes rely on getting primary care right, i.e. people getting to see their doctor when they need to?
You know, that is really the thing that they have to get right, because if they don't get that right, we know what's going to happen, don't we? If people can't get care close to their home or in their home, what are they going to do? They're going to go straight to the nearest hospital, straight to the A&E, and the problem starts all over again. So that really has to happen. These recommendations, and they are just recommendations at the moment, they're going to be voted on next week. If they're passed, the changes could start pretty much straight away.
David Fenton, thank you.